to make yourself feel better, because I make you feel so low about yourself.
The internet is in chaos right now. A leaked FaceTime video just exposed Offset making violent threats against Cardi B's new boyfriend, Stefon Diggs. And that's not even the worst part. What he allegedly said about their newborn baby has people demanding his arrest. But wait until you hear what he owes Selena Powell. The leaked video that shook the internet. There are moments in celebrity culture that feel like earthquakes, moments that shake the very foundation of how we perceive the people we've watched rise to fame, fall in love, and build empires before our very eyes. These moments don't just trend on social media for a few hours and disappear into the digital void. No, these moments fundamentally alter public perception, reshape narratives, and sometimes, just sometimes, they expose truths that certain people desperately wanted to keep hidden from the world. And on January 10th, 2026, one such moment occurred when the internet was set ablaze by a leaked FaceTime video that would expose a side of rapper Offset that many had long suspected existed, but few had ever witnessed with their own eyes and ears. This wasn't just another celebrity scandal designed to generate clicks and fade away by the following week. This wasn't just another messy breakup playing out in the public eye for entertainment. This was something far more disturbing, far more revealing, and far more consequential than anything we had seen from the former Migos member before. Now, before we dive deep into what exactly was said in this video and why it matters so much to so many people, you need to understand the full context of the situation. You need to understand the players involved, their histories, their motivations, and the complex web of relationships that led to this explosive moment. And most importantly, you need to understand that what you're about to hear isn't just celebrity gossip designed to entertain. It's a window into what happens when a very public relationship crumbles in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. The video in question was leaked by social media influencer Selena Powell during an episode of her podcast Two Girls from Mars with her co-host Million Millie. Now, if that name rings a bell somewhere in your mind, it absolutely should. Selena Powell has been a controversial, polarizing figure in hip-hop circles for years, a woman known for her past claims involving various high-profile rappers, including Offset himself back in 2018-2019 when she alleged they had been involved during his marriage to Cardi B. But this time around, Powell wasn't just making claims that could be disputed or denied by publicists and PR teams. This time, she had receipts, digital receipts, video receipts, the kind of receipts that leave absolutely no room for interpretation or spin. In the 17-second FaceTime clip that would soon be viewed by millions, Offset appears in a dimly lit setting, his face illuminated only by the glow of his phone screen, visibly agitated and emotional as he vents directly to Powell about his feelings. And what he says in those 17 seconds, well, let me tell you right now, it's not pretty. It's not something that can be explained away or dismissed as being taken out of context. It's raw, it's unfiltered, and it's deeply, deeply troubling. In the recording, Offset can be heard saying, "If I catch Buddy and I can catch him, it's going to be bad. Man, beat, strip, shot in the knee, all type of expletive." Now, the immediate question on everyone's mind was obvious. Who exactly is Buddy? Who is Offset referring to when he speaks about beating, stripping, and shooting someone in the knee? Well, context clues and the ongoing public drama made it abundantly clear that Offset was referring to none other than Stefon Diggs, the star NFL wide receiver currently playing for the New England Patriots, who had been publicly and proudly dating Cardi B since mid-2025. The same Stefon Diggs who had previously electrified audiences with the Buffalo Bills and Minnesota Vikings. The same Stefon Diggs who helped father Cardi B's fourth child, a son born in November 2025. The same Stefon Diggs who represented everything Offset seemed to despise and resent. The man who had successfully moved on with his ex-wife while he remained trapped in bitterness and regret. But here's where the situation becomes even more disturbing, even more unsettling. The disrespect captured in that leaked video didn't stop at violent threats directed towards Stefon Diggs. According to multiple reports and analysis of the full podcast episode, Offset also allegedly disrespected Cardi B's newborn child with Diggs, calling the innocent baby derogatory names and making the stunning claim that their daughter Culture doesn't like the baby. Let that sink in for a moment. Take your time processing what you just read. A grown man, a 33-year-old father of 6 children, allegedly disparaging an innocent infant who has done absolutely nothing wrong simply because that child
passion, as standing firm against extremism, collapses instantly. Replay after replay shows the same undeniable reality, loss of control. The public isn't debating what happened anymore. They are judging it, and the verdict is brutal. Political reaction hits like a tidal wave crashing over the entire establishment. Opposition benches smell blood in the water. Reform UK MPs move with ruthless efficiency, amplifying the footage, editing clips into devastating contrast, calm versus chaos, control versus collapse. The message is simple and crushingly effective. If a leader cannot control himself in Parliament, how can he possibly control a country facing real crisis? The framing spreads like wildfire across every platform. Rallies grow larger overnight. Membership numbers spike dramatically. Donations surge. What once looked like a fringe protest movement now feels like a genuine political force gaining terrifying momentum. Conservatives, sensing opportunity, sharpen their attacks immediately. They call the incident a constitutional embarrassment. Senior figures begin using words that are rarely spoken out loud in British politics: instability, ungovernable, failure of leadership. The tone shifts rapidly from criticism to consequence. This is no longer about policy disagreements. This is about survival. Inside the Labour Party, the mood turned poisonous almost immediately. Phones buzz nonstop as MPs receive furious messages from their constituencies. Long-standing supporters express disbelief and betrayal. Swing voters express pure anger. Northern seats, once considered safe Labour territory for generations, suddenly feel dangerously exposed. Backbenchers begin asking the question they have avoided for months: how much damage can one leader do before the entire party collapses with him? Loyalty drains away fast when power starts to look weak. The media machine goes into absolute overdrive. News channels loop the moment frame by frame. Headlines escalate by the hour. Unprecedented, historic humiliation, constitutional crisis, international outlets pile in, treating the incident not as internal British drama, but as a sign of global instability. Markets wobble as confidence erodes. What should have been a routine parliamentary session now looks like a turning point in modern British political history. Overnight polling data arrives like a series of hammer blows. Approval ratings plunge at a speed rarely seen outside complete election disasters. The drop isn't gradual, it's a cliff edge. Focus groups describe Starmer with words that sting: rattled, weak, unfit, out of his depth, dangerous. Trust once lost in politics doesn't drift away slowly. It collapses all at once. Reform UK surges in the same polling. The political center fractures in real time. What felt impossible just weeks ago now feels inevitable. As night falls over London, Downing Street remains lit but eerily silent. No statement, no apology, no reassurance. That silence becomes its own message, loud and damning. In politics, silence is never neutral. It is surrender. Outside the gates, the chants do not stop. Britain isn't just watching a prime minister struggle anymore. The country is watching the authority of the office itself crack under pressure. The institution is being tested, and it is failing. What began as a single outburst is now framed as a defining moment in British political history. The image of a prime minister removed under the authority of the speaker is burned into public consciousness. It cannot be spun away. Labour's attempt at damage control unravel almost immediately. Defending the incident as passion or righteous anger only fuels public fury further. Voters see instability. They see weakness disguised as strength. Behind closed doors, the atmosphere inside Labour headquarters turns poisonous. Emergency meetings stretch late into the night. Polling data flashes red across marginal seats. Whispers of leadership change grow louder. The name Starmer is no longer spoken with authority, but with doubt and barely concealed panic. Reform UK moves with ruthless efficiency, editing the meltdown into sharp political ads. The message is clear. If a leader cannot control himself in Parliament, how can he control a country facing real threats? The framing spreads across social media, reaching audiences traditional campaigns never touched. What once looked like a protest movement now feels like a genuine political force gaining unstoppable momentum. Constitutional experts step into the spotlight, asking deeper questions. What does it mean for a sitting prime minister to be removed by the speaker? Can authority return once it has been stripped away so publicly? These are no longer abstract debates. They strike at the heart of how Britain is governed. Trust in institutions takes another another
exposes
massive blow.
Offset's true
Calls for
character and
accountability
strengthens her divorce
multiply.
case, including
Investigations
custody
are
matters
demanded.
and potential restraining
Committees are
orders.
mentioned.
She saw this
The
leak not as
ministerial
embarrassment
code is
or further
dragged back
pain,
into
but
the
as
national
validation,
conversation.
as evidence
And
she
each
could
new
use to
demand
protect
adds
herself
weight to
and
a
her
government
children.
already
As of
bending
January
under
15,
strain.
2026,
Starmer remains
no arrests
largely
have occurred,
silent.
though legal
In modern
experts have
politics,
noted the audio
absence
could
is
potentially
weakness,
lead to
and weakness
serious
invites
criminal
attack.
charges. Offset
Protests
has
become
not
a daily
issued any
fixture,
official statement,
not
though his
chaotic
team has
riots,
previously
but
denied
sustained
similar
demonstrations that
allegations as
refuse to fade.
misinterpretations. But to
Banners
truly
calling for
understand why this
resignation
video
dominate the
resonated so
streets.
deeply with
Chants
millions of
echo
viewers,
from dawn
we need to
until dusk.
understand the full
This no
history of
longer
their
feels like
relationship, all
outrage
its
that will burn
beautiful
out quickly.
beginnings, all its
It
painful
feels like a
betrayals,
movement that
and all
believes
its ultimate
change is finally
failures.
within
The
reach.
foundation was cracked
Media
long
coverage
before
turns
this video
relentless.
ever surfaced.
Editorials
The warning
question
signs were there
Starmer's
from the very
judgment,
beginning.
temperament,
A marriage
and fitness
built
to
on
lead.
scandal,
Satire
forgiveness,
embeds
and
a
second
moment deep
chances.
into popular culture.
The story of Cardi
The
B and
phrase
Offset
forced
isn't
out
simply a
becomes
story
shorthand
about
for
two
political
incredibly
failure.
famous people
For many,
meeting and
this is
falling
no
in love.
longer just
This
about
is a story
Starmer.
about second
It
chances
represents
extended
everything they
again
feel
and
is
again,
broken about politics
forgiveness pushed
itself.
repeatedly
By
to
the
its
end of the
absolute
week,
breaking point
even
and
loyal
beyond,
defenders
about
cannot
public
deny the
humiliation
reality.
endured
The
time after
authority of
time
the
for
Prime
sake
Minister
of
has
love
been
and
badly
family,
damaged,
and ultimately
perhaps
about what
permanently.
inevitably happens
Trust is
when
drained
someone
away,
finally runs out
replaced
of
by
grace
doubt,
and patience
anger,
to give.
and
Cardi B
betrayal.
and Offset
Rivals
first
circle
connected
closer.
professionally in
The
late
system itself
2016
feels
when they
unstable.
collaborated
Britain
on
is no
Lit
longer
from
waiting
Cardi
to
B's
see what
mixtape
happens
Gangsta
next.
Music
The country
Volume
is
2.
bracing
At
for
that time,
impact.
Cardi was an
Weeks
ascending
later,
star, a former
the political
stripper from the
landscape
Bronx
looks
who had built a
unrecognizable.
massive following
Polls
through her
confirm what
unfiltered
the streets
personality
have.
and hilarious commentary. Offset was already established as one-third of Migos, one of the hottest hip-hop groups of the decade. Their professional collaboration sparked something personal, and the romantic spark between them ignited almost immediately in early 2017. Their first public date was at Super Bowl LI in Houston on February 5th, 2017, sparking immediate dating rumors. From that moment, they seemed absolutely inseparable. What happened next unfolded like something straight out of a fairy tale. On September 20th, 2017, they secretly married in a low-key, intimate ceremony in their bedroom in Atlanta. There was no elaborate venue with hundreds of guests. There was no designer dress. There was no celebrity guest list. They simply woke up one morning, decided they wanted to spend their lives together, and had an officiant come over with Cardi's cousin as the only witness. But here's where it gets interesting. Just over a month later, Offset staged an elaborate public proposal at Power 99's Powerhouse concert in Philadelphia, getting down on one knee with a stunning 8-carat diamond ring worth approximately $500,000. The world watched with excitement. The crowd erupted in cheers. Social media exploded with
screaming.
congratulations.
Labour's
But
numbers
what no
sink.
one knew
Reform
was that they were
UK
already
continues
legally
its
married.
surge.
The world
Letters of
celebrated
no
what they
confidence
thought was
begin
an engagement,
circulating.
completely unaware
Donors
of the
hesitate.
secret. The truth
Volunteers
wasn't revealed
walk
until
away.
June 25th,
The question
2018,
dominating every
after
private
TMZ
conversation
obtained
is
the
brutal
marriage
and
certificate. This came
unavoidable.
hours after
Can a party
Offset
survive
referred
with
to Cardi
Keir
as
Starmer
his
still at the
wife
helm?
at the BET
Public
Awards.
appearances
The
grow.
fairy
Now
tale
let's
seemed
examine
complete.
what
A
happened
secret
after
wedding,
Cardi
a
B
public
finally
proposal,
decided to
and a
move on
baby
with her
on the
life.
way. Daughter
Because when she
Culture
made
was
that
born July
decision,
10th,
she didn't move on
2018,
quietly or
following
privately.
Cardi's
She
memorable
moved on
pregnancy
publicly,
announcement on Saturday
proudly,
Night Live. But
unapologetically,
beneath the
and
glamorous
with a man
surface,
who
deep
represented
cracks were
everything
already
Offset
forming.
seemed to
In
fear.
December
A successful
2017,
professional
just 3
athlete
months
with
after
his
their
own
wedding,
established
videos
fame and
leaked showing
fortune.
Offset
By
with
mid
another woman, and hacked
2025,
iCloud
Cardi
footage
had
surfaced
officially
showing
begun
him
her
with various
relationship with
models.
Stephon
This
Diggs,
wasn't a
the
one-time
star
mistake.
NFL
This
wide
would
receiver
become a
known for the
devastating,
legendary
heartbreaking, recurring
2018
pattern
Minneapolis
throughout their
Miracle with the
entire
Vikings
relationship.
before
Cardi's
joining the
pregnancy in
Patriots. They went
2018,
public around May,
leaked
June
texts revealed Offset
2025,
soliciting a
appearing
threesome with
together at
Cuban
events,
Doll and Summer
and Cardi
Bunny.
announced her
Summer Bunny
pregnancy in
later
August,
apologized
September
publicly for her
2025.
involvement.
Their son
The
was born in
humiliation
November
was completely
2025,
public,
marking a
broadcast across
genuinely
every
new
outlet.
chapter
But
in her
somehow,
life.
despite
Offset's response to
everything,
watching
Cardi
his
stayed.
ex-wife move
She chose
on
to
was anything
forgive.
but
She chose
graceful
to
or
give their
dignified.
marriage
His
another
behavior
chance.
revealed
By
a
December
disturbing pattern of
2018,
obsession
she'd finally
and an
reached
inability
her
to
limit.
accept that the
She announced
relationship
their
was
split
over.
on
In July
Instagram, citing
2025,
infidelity
he went
and
live
explaining
shading
they
Diggs
had
for
fell out
taking
of
Cardi
love.
back,
What followed
comparing
was one of
himself to
hip-hop's
cancer,
most dramatic
implying he was something
reconciliation
impossible to
attempts
shake
ever.
off. By
Offset
November
crashed her Rolling Loud
2025, he
performance
took his
with
frustration
Rose's
to his
spelling,
music,
Take Me
dissing
Back.
Cardi
By
on his
February
album
2019,
and calling her a
they'd
downgrade for
reconciled
being
and
with
appeared
Diggs.
together
In
at the
his mind,
Grammys.
an
In a
NFL star
2019
making
interview,
millions was
Offset
somehow a
explained
step
his
down from
public
him.
gesture.
But the behavior extended beyond public
I love
shade.
my wife so
Reports
serious,
emerged
it's
that
not
Offset
dating.
allegedly
So,
DM'd rapper Finesse
it's
twice
like
about Diggs
we have
stealing
schedules
Cardi
and we have
and asked model Jordan Gore for Diggs' physical location, using slang like op, short for opposition, implying harmful intent. These weren't the actions of someone peacefully accepting the end of his marriage. These were the actions of someone spiraling. Most troubling, in November 2025, Offset posted, then quickly deleted about a Jordan
born into a world where her parents' marriage was already over. In September 2024, Cardi went live and unleashed years of pent-up frustration.
To make yourself feel better, because I make you feel so low about yourself. Because I don't make you feel like you're that in this home. So that's what you gotta do. So you out here trying to hurt my feelings because you can the next, I don't give.
She continued addressing his behavior.
Because them hoes ain't good enough that I be having you crashing out all weekend. You was mad happy today when I called you today. And the only reason why I called you today is because I'm trying to change my son's school and I need your approval.
In October 2025, Offset sat with Keke Palmer and reflected quite differently on the situation. When asked about the divorce,
I mean...
Is it finalized, the divorce?
Not yet.
Okay, so it's not
Still
finalized.
Going through it.
Do you want it to be finalized?
I'm ready to be over it, for it to be over it, yeah.
Really?
Just so, just for both of us, I feel like that be a louder story than what we really love to do, which is music and art. You know what I mean? That's why I'm saying that, not like...
The aftermath, the legal implications, and what comes next. Now let's examine what happened after Cardi B finally decided to move on with her life. Because when she did make that decision, she didn't move on quietly or privately. She moved on publicly, proudly, unapologetically, and with a man who represented everything Offset seemed to fear, a successful professional athlete with his own established fame and fortune. By mid-2025, Cardi had officially begun her relationship with Stefon Diggs, the star NFL wide receiver known for the legendary 2018 Minneapolis Miracle with the Vikings before joining the Patriots. They went public around May-June 2025, appearing together at events, and Cardi announced her pregnancy in August-September 2025.
The legal implications of Offset's alleged threats are extremely significant. Under Georgia law, OCGA Section 161137, terroristic threats are defined as threatening violence with the purpose of terrorizing another person. The specific threats heard beating, stripping, shooting in the knee could qualify as a felony carrying 1 to 5 years in prison and up to $10,000 in
and calling
fines.
himself like cancer, implying he was something impossible to shake off. By November 2025, he had taken his frustration to his music, dissing Cardi on his album and calling her a downgrade for being with Diggs. In his mind, an NFL star making millions was somehow a step down from him, but the behavior extended beyond public shade. Reports emerged that Offset allegedly DM'd rapper Finesse 2 times about Diggs stealing Cardi and asked model Jordan Gore for Diggs' physical location, using slang like OP, opposition, implying harmful intent. These weren't actions of someone peacefully accepting the end of his marriage. These were actions of someone spiraling. Most troubling, in November 2025, Offset posted, then quickly deleted, about a Georgia law technicality suggesting he might be the legal father of Cardi's child with Diggs, since she was still technically married to him when the baby was born. This was widely interpreted as a calculated attempt to embarrass and humiliate her during what should have been a joyful time. Cardi has repeatedly accused Offset of sustained harassment, threatening texts, revenge porn involving her and Diggs, suicide threats used as manipulation, and death threats. In multiple emotional live sessions, she broke down saying she feared for her life. Even celebrity observers weighed in on the troubling situation. Amber Rose, experienced with high-profile public relationships, commented during a March 2025 interview.
Public breakup. You know, if you date public, you gotta break up public. And it's bad.
Yeah.
And it's really bad now between Cardi and Offset. If you're in a situation like that, would you go back and forth with your ex online?
I would not, but some people feel the need to.
And on Cardi's under Georgia law, OCGA, par 16-1137, terroristic threats are defined as threatening violence with the purpose of terrorizing another person. The specific threats heard, beating, stripping, shooting in the knee, could qualify as a felony carrying 1 to 5 years in prison and up to $10,000 in fines. If intent to carry out the threat is proven, penalties could escalate dramatically to 5 to 20 years and $20,000 $50,000 in fines. At the federal level, under 18 U.S.C. par 875C, transmitting threats via interstate commerce, is a felony punishable by up to 5 years. Since the FaceTime call crossed state lines and was disseminated nationally via podcasts and social media, federal involvement is entirely possible. Beyond criminal implications, this leaked video could permanently impact Offset's career, lost sponsorships, civil lawsuits from both Diggs and Cardi for emotional distress, and NFL security measures that bring even more attention to the situation. What makes this entire saga so tragic is watching someone who once spoke openly about personal growth apparently spiral in the completely opposite direction. In that same October 2025 Keke Palmer interview, Offset opened up about beating codeine addiction.
My oldest son was like, he kept asking for like pineapple Fanta, but he don't even really drink soda. He ain't asking me. And then one day he came in the studio like, why yours a different color than mine? It killed me. I'm like, oh no, I gotta get off this. That's what touched me. I'm like, what? Cause it's like him paying attention.
And feeling responsible for the tragedy.
Honest with you, I never really said this. Like, I felt like I had that, like some responsibility was on me, cause what if I didn't go solo? What if I just thugged it out with the business not being right? You know what I mean? Maybe we wouldn't even been right there or in that place, because I just know how we move.
The divorce was reportedly settled by October 2025 with multi-million-dollar spousal support and a 70-30 asset split favoring Offset. Cardi is seeking primary custody of their 3 children, and this leaked video could significantly strengthen her case, potentially resulting in supervised visitation requirements for Offset. Social media speculation about potential arrests continues, but no official updates confirm active investigations. Selena Powell has capitalized on the massive attention, promoting her podcast and OnlyFans. Meanwhile, the internet continues to passionately debate who bears more responsibility for this messy dissolution. What we know for absolutely certain is this: a 17-second video clip has potentially altered multiple lives in permanent, irreversible ways. Careers hang in the balance. Custody arrangements may be decided. Public perception has shifted dramatically. It serves as a stark, sobering reminder that in the age of smartphones and social media, absolutely nothing said in what someone believes to be a private moment truly stays private forever. Every text can be screenshotted. Every phone call can be recorded. Every FaceTime conversation can be captured and shared with the entire world. And for Offset, the man who once stood atop the hip-hop world as part of Migos, who married one of the biggest female rappers in history, who built a fortune and a family, those 17 seconds of captured anger and alleged threats may have just cost him everything he worked so hard to build: the fame, the respect, the custody of his children, and perhaps most importantly, any remaining chance at redemption in the eyes of a public who once celebrated his success. Well, that's it for this video, but don't go anywhere because we've got plenty more heat for you. Just tap any of the cards on your screen right now and keep it locked.